Hello, movie nerds, and welcome to Cinematic Sarcastic, the podcast that talks all things movies and television. My name is Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk Stranger Things Season 4. The first half of Season 4 just dropped, and I have some thoughts. Just a little disclaimer, this might be a longer episode. There are 7 episodes to Season 4 of Stranger Things that have dropped so far, and those 7 episodes are incredibly long. I know Netflix was bragging about the long episode run times, and maybe that is not a flex that you should make until you know that every episode is really enjoyable. For me, I would have preferred more episodes that were shorter than the few episodes that were longer. I found myself having a harder time kind of staying connected to everything that was going on with the episodes running for over an hour. A lot of them were an hour and a half. And so I'm really kind of nervous about the episode that they were saying was 2.5 hours. That's going to be a struggle bus episode for me. The reason why I guess I've had a little bit harder time, I'm not sure if it's just the long gap between Season 3 and Season 4 that is making it difficult for me to get into the characters again. But I found a lot of the storylines just not as enjoyable this season. Hopper and Joyce stands out as the very first one of those that I'm kind of struggling with. Their entire arc so far, I am not entirely sure kind of where it's going or what the purpose of it is. I think that you could have cut out every single scene with Hopper and Joyce and it would have made absolutely no impact on the rest of the show. It doesn't fit anywhere. I have no doubt that they will somehow wrap Hopper and Joyce's storylines in with the rest of them, but as of now, there's no connection, and it just kind of leaves you wondering why that stuff has been included. For me, the 11 storyline, at least in the beginning, I like kind of how it progressed and how it turned out towards the end, but the very beginning of 11's storyline, I wasn't really tied into. I think we've had 3 seasons now of 11 really kind of struggling to fit in, being the outcast, not having very much self-esteem, not understanding where she fits in, and I'm getting a little bit tired of seeing that, if I'm completely honest. She seems to still have that, and they're quite a bit more grown up now. So I was really hoping to kind of come back and find 11 sort of maybe not the popular girl in school, but at least coming into her own and understanding her own value, and she doesn't seem to have that. And that is just 4 seasons now of 11 not knowing who she is or where she comes from. Again, you do kind of see more towards the end of the episode, her learning a lot about kind of her childhood and how she grew up and some of the things that happened. But it wasn't in a way that I felt like was very beneficial for her. In fact, throughout most of the season, you have this army guy who's hunting her down, and he keeps mentioning that really 11 has probably just gone rogue again, and that everything that's going bad is probably her fault. And he's not wrong. Like, everything seems to stem from her. All of this bad stuff seems to stem with her. So I'm very confused how she's still kind of that hero character when really she's just saving the day from the stuff that she's made bad. It's very weird how it fits together for me. But I'm still enjoying Stranger Things. I just don't necessarily enjoy all of the stories that are happening currently. One of the things that I will say, I found myself a few times thinking of Jonathan and wondering why we couldn't have swapped Jonathan with Billy. Can we have Billy back? Can we get rid of Jonathan? He sort of is just getting high and hanging out with a new friend now, and I'm not entirely sure what his relevance is at this point. Though I will say, as an aside, Argyle, his new friend, I do very much enjoy. He brings this really fun comedy edge to it, and I'm enjoying his friend, but I'm not necessarily enjoying Jonathan. So the whole thing with Steve and Nancy that comes back up in season 4, I'm here for because I don't understand Jonathan. Another character that I really have been loving is Eddie. He's new to this season as well. He's in a group called the Hellfire Club, which is basically just a nerd club. It just has a funny name to it. But I like Eddie and I like Steve for both the same reasons. They hang out with the younger kids and they're sort of like raising up a new generation, if you will, teaching them some cool new stuff. And I love that about both Eddie and Steve's characters, even though they are counter opposites of each other. Like Eddie is very death metal, that sort of thing, and Steve is very jock, very down the perfect side of school, if you will. But yeah, I'm enjoying both of them this season. I really have been enjoying Robin and Max. They are definitely my standouts this season as my favorites. I'm anxious to see kind of where their storylines go, especially with Max, because she has a little bit of difficulties this season, and I got a little nervous there that maybe we're going to lose her for a second, and I'm really hoping we don't. I know that Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, did an interview where she joked that the cast of Stranger Things 4 is getting too large and that somebody needs to go Game of Thrones style and get rid of a few of the characters. And though I agree, I don't want them to be my favorite characters. We've already lost Billy. I can't take any more loss, really, of like the characters that I love, unless the Duffer Brothers are willing to talk to me about it first and get my sign off on who they can kill. I would say, please don't kill anyone else. It's too traumatic, because we seem to lose in Stranger Things only the ones that you really want to be around, Billy, we lost Bob. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to like keep the characters that you're not sure what they're still doing there, but lose the ones that kind of make an impact. So we'll see how this goes. Let me know what you thought of Stranger Things Season 4. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next episode.